Okay, so now we have our clips sort of organized in this one track. I have the linked selection turned off, so I can select individually one clip at a time. But basically what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start cutting this interview. Okay, so I'm just going to start cutting this interview. I'm actually going to mute this track here, and now extend that a bit. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut all of this bit off where it's just me speaking, and I want to get to her first answer. So I can just skim ahead and I know I'm still talking. Of course, I could also just press L a couple times to go double speed. Okay, so there it is. That's the first question, and you notice I've played this a few times, so I know there's a sniff and an and right here is actually, sorry, right here is where I'm going to make my cut. So just watch. Okay, perfect. Now, I like to have as much space before the answer comes as possible, so I use my arrows left and right to go frame by frame. So that's where my cut's going to be perfectly placed. To make my first cut, I'm actually going to use the blade tool or the razor tool, C for your keyboard shortcut. But if I just do C, what you'll notice here is it only cuts one at a time because I have this linked selection turned off. So what I'm actually going to do is hold down the Shift, and you see when I hold down the Shift I get that second razor tool there. I can hold down the Shift and then click with my razor tool, and it cuts across everything. Whatever, you could have 99 tracks and it's going to cut across all of them. So back to my arrow tool, I'm going to select all of this and delete it. And if we shrink down, we see now I've simply cut off the beginning. Command Z to show you what I've gotten rid of, and redo, and there it goes again. So here's my answer.
So my parents always had music going when I was a kid. My mom took violin when she was young, and my dad he's just a really good singer. I would wake up as a kid and he'd be blaring Andrea Bocelli.
Okay, so she goes on, and then I interrupt her, so I kind of ruin the answer. But I think I'm going to make a cut here after Andrea Bocelli. I'm going to use J to back it up.
As a kid, he'd be blaring Andrea Bocelli.
Perfect, Andrea Bocelli. And now again, I can go in with my key command and get exactly the right spot where I want to make a cut. Again, C to bring up my razor tool, Shift so that I know I'm cutting down across all of them. And then we play.
Andrea Bocelli?
And you see I interrupt. I interrupt so it's not really usable. So I'll just fast forward now to the next answer.
I took piano.
And here we go. Again, she does an which I don't need. It's quite common when you have people on the spot. They're going to use that. So now I'm going to show you a slightly different technique. So last time what we did, and the first time you always should do the way I showed you, what I did was Shift, cut across there, back to the arrow tool, select all this, and then delete. But another way of doing it, once you've got that point, and when you have a previous edit, what you can do here is simply use your Q. And what that did, was it made the cut, it removed everything in between, and then backed up the entire story track. So just,
I took piano when I was 5.
Okay, perfect. So the next time now I go to the end of this answer.
I liked it, but I always wanted to take guitar. My parents said that if I learned piano first, that I would eventually be able to teach myself guitar. And then when I moved to Guelph, I just kind of there was a huge music scene there, and I was taking photos of concerts all the time. This kind of started playing. Yeah.
Perfect. And there you see me come back in. So we'll finish that last answer.
Photos of concerts all the time. This kind of started playing.
Okay. Well, it just kind of started playing. Not the best finish, but that's okay. I'm going to take it. I'm going to make my cut right there. And again, now I can't do Q this time because I would be getting rid of this. So I again take my blade tool, shift, cut, and then I fast forward or skim to where my next question ends. And there she goes again, so I'll zoom in on that.
Jeff Buckley.
Right, so this is the Jeff Buckley answer. And just now, zoom out. So once again, remember the last edit, I used my blade tool to cut. So all of this I want to get rid of. So I'm just going to use the Q, and it backs that up.
Buckley. That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
So that question.
Okay, so then I go on and...
No, okay, no, like...
Okay, so there she starts all over again with Jeff Buckley. And again, I should now... Is any of that usable, right, is the question. So I want to get rid of this, so I'll just cue it again, because I don't think any of that's really usable.
All the time, just kind of started playing.
And then she talks about
Probably
Jeff Buckley.
Okay,
so you can go ahead now and cut the rest of your interview as you're doing. So it's using the blade tool, it's shift and click, and then the next time after you've done that, you can use the Q button to erase everything before. And go ahead and cut the entire interview, and we'll see where you end up.